And now we're live.
And
Yay!
now we're live.
Now we exist. Okay. Hi everybody. We
Hi.
totally botched our intro for the recording that we were gonna post onto YouTube. Honor, shut up. I see you in chat. Be quiet. Welcome
Um,
to the first ever episode of oh god, I opened Fire Alpaca. Welcome to the first ever episode of the Library of Urulu, a Mianite podcast where me and Shimulus talk about some Mianite things. We're going to talk about headcanons. We're going to talk about actual canon. And we're going to talk about probably some AUs. We don't know.
uh, hold on, Angel. What if, like, season 2 Mianite actually had, like, a cannon on his head?
No, that's not that kind of canon.
Think about it, though.
It still says
Like,
Pokemon? I've updated twice.
he has the arm and he has the eye, so he could use the eye to, like, guide the cannon super
Stop.
good.
Not that kind of
I'm
canon.
just, I'm just, I'm just getting straight into it.
Not that kind of canon.
Alright.
Okay, because this is our first episode, we gotta do introductions sort of naturally, like,
I guess.
yeah. Do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
Oh, just introducing ourselves?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go first, since I'm the guest, or whatever.
You
Actually, I'm
you
not really.
you are
I'm a host, aren't
you're a
I?
host.
Shit. All right. Well, okay. I'm still
You're
gonna
a
introduce myself. So my name is Matthew, aka Chimulus, as Angel already said, and I did some story stuff in Mianite season 2, and I like Mianite. I don't really watch Mianite or much gaming stuff at all, but I like working on that kind of stuff, and I like talking about lore, and I like writing. That's me.
uh we're so bad. I'm Angel. I have a whole lot of screen names, but I'm starting to float around more as Control Core Angel. I am one of the horrible people who worked on My Night Awakening, which is a fan series that one of the most successful My Night fan series, and I did a whole lot of writing for that, and I I played some characters, and that was good. Yeah,
It was good. I watched a few episodes.
you watched a few episodes, the ones I linked you, and then the ones Taylor streamed on Twitch.
I watched a few of my own volition as well. Yep.
Sure. Okay, so we don't know what we're gonna talk about.
Yeah.
You have
I
an idea?
mean,
You said you were going to kind of push us along here.
did I?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I guess that's what I'm doing then. So I guess I should explain one thing. Uh, I was wrong. Botan doesn't mean long life. I mean, in the Mianite season 2 world, it actually does. That's my decision. But like in real
That's
life, it
fair.
kind of doesn't. Okay, like I looked on this one baby name website, and it said Botan meant long life. All right, it didn't really give a very good explanation. But then you like challenged me on it, and I looked it up for myself, and I was like, oh yeah, so Botan actually means peony, which is like the king of flowers, for the
Essentially.
Japanese.
Yeah, I look it up immediately, and it gets, in Japanese, the meaning of the name Botan is long life, and then right below it in Wikipedia, it says the Japanese name for the peony.
Yeah, like that first one that comes up is like the one that I found, and it's kind of
Yeah,
sketchy,
really.
but it's popular, so
It's,
I fell
that's
into that
fair.
trap. But like it
Let
means
me actually
peony.
look on behind the name for that.
Yeah, behind the name we'll say peony too.
If you say so. Peony. Wait, no. Botan. User submitted name. Peony. Yep.
Which is still interesting if you consider Botan to be a flower person in any way, shape, or
I
form.
mean, he's kind of a flower person.
Yeah.
Like, depending on the flower, the Kikokus are kind of historically very picky about the flowers.
Picky.
Uh, The only person in that sort of line, like that sort of family line that isn't terribly picky is like Alyssa. She likes
Yeah, Alyssa
anything.
just picks all the flowers.
It's hers now. Alyssa owns the flowers. They are hers.
That's valid. I accept it.
Okay, so we're both Andor nerds.
True.
You did Andor. I did Andor. Andor's been
Yep.
done.
Andor's been done.
Andor's been done. He's living in your brain again, supposedly.
Yeah, been a while since we talked.
uh, so, or maybe he's in like the season 3 world or whatever, doing his thing now, um, and being presumed dead and coming back and being like, whoa, okay. Everyone's like, oh, Andor, you like vanished during the fall, and now you exist.
No, let's be clear about one thing. When you say the season 3 world, what do you mean?
I'm talking about God, what was it called? Mianite intermission.
I am furrowing my brow.
That is the follow up, sort of like in the same way you wrote Clear Sky Hermit. Um, that was Chris's follow up to season 2,
Oh, interesting. Okay.
where they landed in, I believe it was actually the season 1 world, but that wasn't really brought up, like thought upon a whole lot, so that's debatable. But God,
Interesting.
but like they fell there, or wherever they fell, and kind of like ended up there, and it was because it's Chris. It's mostly from a Martha perspective, um, and a fair bit of Alyssa, and it was mostly just Martha running around being like, I'm dead.
I mean, that was the Clear Sky Hermit, but for Andor.
Yeah,
I mean, we gotta vent a little bit when we write. It's fair.
that's fair. I am. But
Now,
it's like,
when you said the season 3 world, I actually thought you might have meant the MMO because I've heard
no,
that
we're
called
not
the
talking about MMO
unofficial.
here.
No, but like I've heard it called the
The season
like
3
the
world.
yeah, kind of season 3.
Yeah, essentially. It could be considered that way, but we're not gonna know until it's released.
Yep,
If it ever is.
I'm sure it will be.
Eventually. Sometime this year, maybe, hopefully. If they
Yeah,
don't
but
slack off.
yeah, I interrupted you a bit, like
It's
30
okay.
seconds ago.
We're both interrupters, which is a problem.
It's not too bad though.
Yeah. So we're not going to talk a
Yeah.
whole lot of MMO.
Okay,
MMO
that's
is MMO is dead. We're not going to talk MMO probably until we're not going to talk MMO until after the MMO is released and at least one of us plays it. And that
Okay.
person is probably going to be me.
Yeah, there's a chance I'll play too, but yeah, I don't really know anything about it anyway.
Yeah, it's nobody knows a whole lot about it. But that's why we're not talking about it. Is neither of us have a clue.
Yeah, it would just be speculation, and that is of limited use.
Yeah.
So
The only person who knows a thing about it is like Chris, and she couldn't be here. And then again, she doesn't want to spill her secrets.
yeah, Chris might like crack open the door a little bit for us.
Yeah, maybe,
Maybe.
but don't expect it.
No, don't expect it. No.
No, she's supposedly good at that.
Yeah. Oh, but back on the Andor subject, if I may. So the most recent big Andor thing to happen in the Mianite multiverse was the Andor of Mianite Awakening getting like yeeted off with Botan.
Oh yeah,
And just
he's been yoded.
yeah,
The
I'm,
beta Honor says in chat, there's no info. The beta testing was Fortnite, and that was it.
yeah.
Hytail's gonna kill the MMO probably.
Oh
I've not seen
well,
the Hytale trailer yet, but yeah, Awakening Andor has been shot into space. He's dead now. No, he's not. That's a lie. I write this. I write this man. He's not dead.
no, he can't be dead.
He's not dead. There's a lot of like I've kind of spilt some good juicy bits of the follow up just kind of around. It depends on really who I want to give it to. I gave one to Moth. Uh, I gave a few to Honor, but that's because Honor is also on the side of we know what's going on in this story because this story is well, it's kind of the more like Clear Sky Harmony thing, but it's like several members of the BTS know about it. So it's like because it's Botan and Botan was played by Honor, I'm keeping Honor in sort of like the loop of that. But I chapter 1 is almost done, I swear.
I look forward to it.
I hope it goes well because it's kind of a nightmare right now, honestly. I'm stuck again, actually, so it may take a little bit longer until I sort of cool my nerves again and figure out where I want to end it. But yeah,
My
Andor went into the void with Botan. More like Botan took Andor into the void and jumped.
Yeah, I have two things to say. First, it interests me a lot that Andor was either possessed or coerced. I think possessed in that way by Botan. Because like my Andor has kind of a revenge relationship with Botan. Just wants to like go after the guy, but at the same time, it's like, well, I'm never gonna get there, am I? And then
Yeah.
yours has had a different sort of relationship with Botan.
Yeah, my Andor's relationship with Botan is more like I hate your guts because I've seen what you do. And that was kind of like the whole start of the Andor debacle in Awakening was when Botan came around. My Andor, Clear Sky Hermit at the time, before he sort of revealed himself. If I'm not wrong on that timeline, I could be wrong. He was just sort of like, I know what you do. I've seen your work. I've seen you destroy everything I know. And I'm not down for that. My Andor was more like, if I can kill you, I will. But I am just a boy. I got some nice wings. I am gay.
I am neither a fan of the artist's work nor the artist himself.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's sort of like if you eat the world. No.
What about eating the world? What happened?
Tasty. Quintessence
Yeah,
tasty.
it would be tasty. That
Tasty.
yeah. Yeah, that's a
God,
question.
my
Does
band.
Quintessence have taste? I
Does
don't know.
Quintessence have taste? No, I think it just tastes like a whole lot of air came into your mouth at once. You ate 20 energy bars and this is where it got you.
That's disturbing.
Or
Yeah,
like if an energy drink was made into air, then it's that.
that
But
sounds convenient.
but it has 10 times the energy drink and you are hyperactive for like a week and you can't sleep and it tastes weird. It tastes like fake grape.
Vape grape.
No.
That was what you said at first. Yeah.
My audio peaked really badly.
Why?
Uh no, like you just have I had my bar on my mic's bar on the OBS just went red. That's
Oh,
terrifying.
for your
That's,
mic.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm. It shouldn't really matter though. It more depends on like where the little median bar is.
Yeah, and like it sounded fine to me.
Yeah. But I worry. 5 hour energy mist, says Honor.
Yeah,
It's more like
but like
weak energy mist.
yeah, but like Quintessence is interesting. I find that Quintessence is basically immaterial. You wouldn't have any sort of sensory interaction with it until you found a medium with which to contain it, channel it.
Yeah, which
Like
is like.
it's possible that you could do that with a vapor. Like you could do it with something more solid or something
You
liquid.
can vape Quintessence.
Maybe.
This is so bad. We need an AU where Botan just disguises himself as some normal, everyday, regular dude, but he vapes, and he vapes Quintessence, but nobody knows.
Now there are ways to control Quintessence in its raw immaterial state, but you need a special very special immaterial medium for that. But anyway, um yeah, the other thing I was going to point out is that like Mianite fics are like difficult to write, I think, because like you have all these different like elements from all across the fandom and the multiverse and stuff. And it's like, what do I pick? What do I put here? Like I found that to be an increasing problem as I've like written more fics as the years have gone on. It's like, I mean, there are so many good ideas. I don't know if that's a problem for you.
I mean, it is at this. I'm used to picking and pulling, only because I did that for Homestuck. Was essentially I had a character with very, very, very little actual canon lore. In fact, only a paragraph at the time. Now it's a little more, but when I say a little, I mean a little. But back in the day when that was a thing, I had to go around and find fan headcanons, and I just basically picked like the cream of the crop and mixed it all in and threw my own junk into there. So I'm a little more used to doing that now since I have a little more experience with it. So I'll throw in headcanon from time to time, but it's most of it is just like me right now.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, like
there's some things that I've picked up, sort of like how the Tainted Sparkles AU, Tom, or generally like Moonpal's Tom in general can control his body parts after they fall off, and that they fall off anyway. That's sort of a thing I've picked up that I didn't think of before. Matt's dead.
hmm.
Oh, there he is.
No, I'm here, yeah.
Sorry, moving. I make weird noise.
I'm just like staring off into space. Let me collect myself.
This is writer's process.
Yeah, I'm starting to think too much. And that's dangerous on a podcast.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I guess both of us are doing one ever, so we're both not very used to talk, 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 talk.
You're good at it though. You
I'm good
keep the
at
pace
it,
up.
if I have a topic.
Yeah, we just got to keep coming up with topics. Like,
Yeah.
don't let it sit. So like, yeah, I guess with Mianite, I've sort of had an advantage in like creating canon content. So if I wanted to, I could justify anything I wrote.
No!
But like, I don't want to. I would rather draw from, especially like, I guess feelings that different
Buzz.
Mianite writers have had about the Mianite characters and different like relationships they've had to those characters. And I think actually, like, in the current fic that I'm writing called The Unforgiven Ocean, which is a fic between, like, Andor and Helgrund, I kind of take a little bit of inspiration from, like,
Hey, can we talk about how to pronounce Helgrind's godforsaken name?
oh, real quick, I take a little bit of inspiration from your Andor and the way that you've written your Andor, actually. But anyway,
Yeah, we're
yes,
both kind of like taking inspiration from each other and like creating the ultimate Andor.
maybe so. That would be interesting to co-write an ultimate Andor someday.
Yeah, we were
um,
considering co-writing something, but we don't know what it is yet. Considering
yeah, it's interesting.
I'm over here writing the follow-up to Awakening, and you're writing Unforgiven Ocean. So we're both like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce Hellgrind. I don't know.
I do
I just,
Hellgrind because I'm just like I'm not a big fan of pronouncing the I that way.
yeah, I'm sure there's a correct way if we were to look.
Yeah, maybe, but who cares?
Yeah, I mean, also, like, Hellgrind sounds pretty narbuckle, because, like, it sounds like a torture machine, which is apt.
A very badly designed torture machine. I don't know what kind of torture machine's called a hell grind, but okay.
Yeah, it seems like it would do away with the victim pretty quickly.
I want to say pretty slowly, considering the way Hellgrind messed up Andor, but yeah,
Well, yeah. Yeah.
we
I guess
gotta
it
use
depends.
the good tasty hair on my screen. No,
What?
that's not what I meant. Uh, okay.
I mean, sometimes that happens to me too. Now I'm looking, actually. I don't think there is any at the moment.
I have a whole lot of gunk on my screen, and I haven't bothered to clean it off.
You know what? That happens to the best of us.
Speaking of gunk, let's talk about more Andor in this conversation I had with Chris literally like 5 minutes ago.
Oh.
Um, and it's all about the intermission. Where we were just basically talking about the intermission and Alyssa and Andor, and I'm not gonna do a whole lot of like intermission or Alyssa stuff because I want to save that for when Chris actually gets here. And where am I talking about? Hold up. Yes, here. Um, Basically, Ace Alyssa is canon.
That is cool.
Alyssa does not care. Um, she is good. Bat. Um, and Chris says eventually like we're in this conversation of Alyssa is asexual. We're talking about she goes ill when Andor is mentioned, and I respond, Andor is a gross dirty boy, and as a person who played him for Awakening, he is a gross dirty boy. He needs a shower.
Wow.
Thoughts on gross dirty boy?
Wait, are you asking
Yes,
um, what do you mean? On just Andor in general, or on him being gross and dirty?
on him being a gross dirty boy.
Oh God, that's awful. I mean, Andor
He's
is my child,
he's
and he's
like
listening. He's listening.
he's listening. Oh god, run. I also mean I mean more in the sense of like this boy was out in the desert for several months.
Oh yeah, Andor
Base
has like mold caked into his eyelids. I mean,
I'm pretty sure he'd be dead if he did.
I mean, he's yeah, he might be,
He's got
but
sand in places where sand shouldn't be.
he's yeah. I mean, I the way that I wrote was a bit more focused on the psychic aspects. So I actually honestly didn't think too terribly much about like the particular particles wedged in certain places, but
You need to write a sequel to Clear Sky Hermit that's just Andor constantly complaining about their sand in X place, and I hate it.
but yes, I do agree with him being just very travel worn and dusty and dirty, sweaty, all that.
Yeah, like after Inertia, I just picture him, other than his hair, he keeps his hair in check. Um,
Like,
of
I
just
mean, if
him
you're
being
walking
like,
through the desert,
I
the
am,
sand kind of cleans your hair.
yeah. I just picture him being like, I am made of mud. Witness me.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't it be awesome if he were like, "I am made of mud, witness me," and like he had like wet mud on him, but then he just blew a wind current across himself, so the mud just dried and hardened super fast, and he had like mud armor. And then he like chipped pieces of the mud off himself and like blew them toward the enemy like little mud shuriken or something.
The problem with mud hardened like that is it falls apart super easily.
Yeah, it's just mud.
And I speak from experience.
Yeah, it would have to be like a pretty thick coat of mud to do anything at all.
Yeah, and even then it would just like break like you drop ceramics on the floor.
Yeah, like it can be like a one-time use type of armor, maybe get hit and it like cushions the blow and falls off.
A little, unless you get stabbed by mud
Or by steel
or
or lightning
or by sword.
or by God's very own.
Mud armor exists. Oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few mods that'll do that for you, but like, why? Logic. We have to logic. I know it's Minecraft, but we gotta logic sometimes.
Logic is very important.
Yeah, but like, Andor needs a shower. Or 3.
Andor needs a spiritual shower.
Andor between inertia and the fall need a shower. Just that whole time period, he needs a bath.
Yeah.
If we're talking Clear Sky Hermit Andor, he needs a bath. If we're talking my Andor from Awakening, there's probably a few moments where he does, but considering he's under armor half the time, debatable.
Yeah. And I think
he does need a shave, so.
I think Season 2 Andor needed a shower too, most of the time. He was not doing well.
Yeah, like, God, why are we talking about Andor being gross again? I started this conversation and I don't know why anymore.
You did start this. I mean, you have to get into it.
Like, if he's in the castle, then he's fine.
Yeah, well, I think I like to think of it as Andor needs an hour between ages 0 and like 10 or so. I forget. Oh god, Angel help. Like, when did Alva and Freya die? How old was Andor when that happened?
My Andor, he was 10? Somewhere between the ages of 7 and 10.
Yeah, I had mine like between 6 and 10, so that's fair. Yeah, like, so he needed a shower before that point, and that was when things were happy, you know. And then after that happened, Halgren just like took him in and was like, "Okay, we're not doing nature stuff anymore. Because you don't need to think about Ionite and that."
Yeah, we're not going out in the woods, son. We're not taking day trips to Catsi, or we're not going out living in the lilac fields anymore. You don't have a treehouse anymore, I'm sorry. We eat steel.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly
we eat torture machine. Gold is good.
I'd like to see that written about. Yeah, that's yeah. And then like Season 2, Andor starts to like get dirty again. He's like, "Well, actually, I'm gonna do that stuff anyway. Fuck you, Dad."
Dad's dead. I can do what I want.
Yeah.
Except in a more sorrowful sense.
Podcast.
Dad's dead. My city now. More like everybody's city now, and then Botan city, and then Dead city. Dead city dead. No more city. Bye, Dagron.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Dagron. You will be missed.
Yeah, that was really fun making that happen.
Vored to death.
That unhappen. Yeah, that was fun.
Vored by man. By one whole man.
Yep. Like, I really enjoyed like watching what I did of Awakening. Because like there was kind of a similar "oh crap, this world is going to hell" type of thing.
Yeah.
Wasn't quite as dramatic at the very end, but there was like that kind of stuff going on with the
Oh god, the
corruption,
end,
like the sand.
the end was actually like super botched. Uh, and because you can't really tell when things are messed up from a streamer's perspective, it worked, and that was what mattered.
Are you talking about the final episodes or the end of the round?
The final episode. We had
Okay.
we had a plan and it went haywire, but you know it worked, and that was what was important.
Am I allowed to ask?
Yeah.
Was it regarding Andor in particular?
Oh yeah, it was.
Okay, I kind of vaguely recall words being said about that, but I didn't know exactly what happened.
Yeah. We were supposed to jump in the portal. What ended up happening was Botan launched himself off the edge of the end, and I was teleported over there suddenly, and I was like, okay.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, the portal and the void kind of lead to the same place ultimately, so yeah, man, I guess it's
Yeah,
not a huge deal,
it's
but
S1, S2, like, parallels, so.
yeah,
I
but the
mean,
portal thing was still important, because, like, it's the portal. Yeah.
you just perish. Either way, you die from the void. So, and then spawn back at spawn, and then
Oh,
freak out a little bit.
let's talk about last minute panics, because Honor just brought up a really good,
Oh
like,
god.
nerve touchy thing for me, because I have so many of those. Like, there was actually an MA episode I helped with where, like, I was supposed to make the sand drop, and I totally didn't make it drop at the right time. It was the
You
highlight of
dropped
the
it like
episode.
while they were in the thing.
Yeah, because, like, we didn't actually talk about the timing of that beforehand exactly. So I just, like, did it when I felt like I should do it, and yeah. But it worked out okay, I guess.
Yeah, I was like, I'm okay. This is fine.
Yeah.
But you basically like ionited again.
Oh yeah, I love doing that.
The only problem is when you get big, the lag.
Was there a little bit of lag when the sand fell?
No, mainly because the Sandlord statue was decently small. But like, if we're talking Shadowdancer big,
There was some
then
lag.
yeah.
Yeah.
The good thing about season 2 was that all the streamers had decently good setups and not crappy computers like some of us awakening folk do, aka me. Um so they could take the Shadow Dancer dying, quote unquote.
Could take the Shadowdancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So see, what I was disappointed with was in the mod pack, in crack pack, there is an ash block. You
Ah.
didn't use that.
Well, I think didn't I use that in Katsir or something?
I
Or is
don't
that a
know.
different one?
I don't know because Sparkles didn't spend a whole lot of time in Catseer, and I have not watched Tom's POV yet.
Okay.
And so I know Sparkles didn't spend a whole lot of time in Catseer, so I don't exactly remember anything beyond sort of the fetch quests that were going on in Catseer.
Ooh, that was awful.
That was awful.
Okay.
It was, but you know, it was a
Yeah.
time. It was a time killer, and it was a reason to go to Catseer. That's what mattered.
Yep.
But like, when you like, I know Ash, the block does not fall. It doesn't have gravity, so it doesn't fall. So I can understand you using gravel, but why not immediately change all that gravel to ash instead of it just being gravel and saying Ionite turned into rocks?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's kind of goofy, but at the same time, I kind
Ionite's a
of, I
pile of
like.
pebbles.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would say it requires a little bit of suspension of belief or
Yeah,
suspension of disbelief. Sorry.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it was Sparkles mostly like suspending it, and he was
Oh
like,
yeah.
she turned into gravel. Oh no! And then he was like, oh no, she turned into ash. That kind
Well,
of happened.
it was supposed to be something like dust or gravel, just particles. It wasn't supposed to be like she burned. It was just
Rocks.
like like cosmic dust or whatever, that
She's
type of
she
thing.
she turned into rocks and then proceeded to fall on Sparkles, and he got brain damage.
It would have made me really happy if he'd been under there and just died.
That's the dream.
But I'm really glad that he didn't, because like that clip is something that I treasure. Just like him, like getting the message, like, "Oh, I don't feel so good," and then he like goes to the end and
Jordan,
sees and like looks
Jordan, I
up.
don't feel so good.
Oh wait, actually, yeah, that is an Infinity War meme that I prophesied. Holy crap!
It only took a few years.
Wow,
Infinity War is actually Mianite season 3.
it's actually what?
It's actually Mianite season 3. Everybody's dead.
Thanos is evil Ionite. I will bring balance to the universe.
This means Spider-Man is Andor.
Or he's like, yeah, I guess he's Andor. Yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, this is
like
terrible.
all the characters who died in Infinity War have to be characters who died or quote unquote died in
And like,
season 2. And there's a fair bit of those. Andor is part of the quote unquote died.
yeah, Tony Stark is Mianite because he's like robotic and he has to like just see this whole thing through, whether he's okay or not.
Martha is uh Martha is Black Widow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, is that because? Wait, why is that?
because she kicks butt.
I was gonna say because she's the only female in the cast.
No.
No, there are others. I forget who they are. There's like Alyssa and Mianite. Living females in Mianite season 2. Sonya.
The way you just like are thinking super hard.
Yeah, struggling with this one. Yeah, but like,
Hmm.
well, yeah. Where were we?
God, I don't know. Like, just picture us looking at each other from across the room with like super confused looks on our faces. Like, what were we talking about?
I was gonna say with like googly-eyed glasses. I don't know why that's what came
No,
to mind, but
I
that's
mean
probably how we would look at each
that's
other
reasonable.
across the. Yeah, just like one eye kind of hanging out by a slinky. What is life?
With horrible like those styrofoam like kids wings on
I mean,
like for
yeah, I
Halloween.
guess.
Yeah.
I've actually never put on like a pair of fake wings before. Have you?
Several times during my life because I did a whole lot of Halloween costumes back in the day, and I do a lot of cosplay now. I am currently working on an Andor cosplay.
That's exciting.
The problem? Moving wings.
What am I trying to say? What timeline is your
Uh,
costume of Andor?
this one is just like start of season 2, so start to inertia.
Okay, and by your interpretation, he would actually have mechanical wings at that point.
Yes. That
Yeah,
that our wing headcanons are so wild. Like the cannon is weird. My headcanons are weird.
it was a
Yeah.
huge like mind blower opener for me when you told me that. Like,
See,
I had no idea. We'd been like talking for like years about, well, not years. I've only known you for like less than a
we've
year,
known
but
each other for a year.
like a year. Yeah, we've been talking, and I had no idea that such differing thoughts on that.
You know, we have a whole lot of differing opinions on Andor. Just like how I interpreted him as a like because I had more of the fan perspective, and how you interpreted him as the writer.
Yeah,
And
like
now
we all.
and now I'm getting a case of people interpreting my Andor, and I'm the writer. So
And
it's getting a little weird because now my canon and your canon is mixing.
huh?
What is truth?
I'm curious how people are interpreting your Andor differently.
Most of the time, I've taken Moth as like super perceptive, which is why I usually go to Moth to test things that I write. Um, so
Yes.
Moth is currently my piece of of how fans interpret my work. And
Interesting.
I get some wild things and sometimes things I've never thought of before. So
Hmm. I need to ask
sometimes I'll
Moth
go to
more about.
we're both we're both interrupters. It sucks.
Sorry, I think it might be partially the audio lag thing. Go ahead.
No, it's just us being terrible,
But yeah, go ahead.
or maybe it's audio lag. No, I'll go to Moth for stuff. Like I'll go to Taylor sometimes and some other people, but Moth is ultimately most perceptive, quote unquote fan I have. So
Moth is very perceptive. I should
yes.
ask them about Andor stuff too sometime. But yeah, like so the wings. For me it was always just Andor had natural purple Ionite wings because he was, a descendant of Ionite. It was like, yeah, cool.
Well,
And
I think a lot about the Kikoku family genetics, and where that'll come into play. Mainly because I I came up with the headcanon before I had like a species down for a chemi, and now that I have a species down for a chemi, Mianite is basically Dungeons and Dragons in my mind. Because I have her as half tiefling, half something else. I forgot the name of. But she's half and half, so that's where Dianite's wings came from. Uh,
oh, okay.
was
I like that.
that line of the family was he got it from the big Dungeons and Dragons people. Um, like
Yeah.
I constantly have to think of family genetics because I do a whole lot of family fix, like I did Runs in the Family, as my follow up to Intermission, and it was just Andor and Martha dying a little inside. Was essentially what
Valid.
that was. But I have to think about it a whole lot because I had Canon Akemi a lot. I do a lot of Andor, and I always gotta think, where did this trait come from? Because the Kikoku line is really big.
Yeah.
So I had to I when I was first starting that, I was like, do are Andor's wings natural? Where did Andor's wings come from? Because I was doing, of course, the same Homestuck thing, and I made a fan character for that, like a fan child for two characters, and I was thinking, where did these traits come from? Uh, so I did that for Andor as well, and I was like, these wings don't appear to come from anybody in particular, and due to the sort of things stated in Clear Sky Hermit, I can assume they're mechanical. Uh,
You cut out. You can assume what?
I can assume they're magical
Ah.
or mechanical. I'm sorry. Honor said they're magic in the chat, and it threw me off.
Yeah, I don't know what a genetics is either. But yeah, like, well, I don't know much about genetics either, but I think that like sometimes a trait can emerge out of sort of a combination of other traits or just, out of some other weird sequence of events and not necessarily be like a direct inheritance.
Yeah, like the only plausible sort of thing I have for the origin of Andor's wings being if they were biological, on my end, is I can assume they came from Botan because Botan's a heavy shapeshifter, and that's pretty darn canon at this point that Botan can change forms very quickly and at sort of his own will. So I can assume maybe they came from him, and I can also assume maybe they came from Akemi, because the other species that Akemi is, which I forgot what it was, uh, an Asimar, I think. Whichever one is the descendant of the Celestials, that one. I can also assume maybe that came from Akemi because that's where Dianite got his wings.
Interesting.
Dianite is
Yeah, yeah.
basically Akemi.
You've thought pretty deeply into that. Yeah, I like that. It would be interesting to get that charted out sometime, actually. See
Yeah,
what it.
I've been thinking about getting it charted out, but I'm relatively busy in the art world right now, so I don't have a whole lot of time for family trees.
Yeah, that's fair. Hmm.
My dog bark.
He bork.
Bark.
Bork, bork.
Oh, God, who is that
Fan-
again? I know the I,
Phantasmadormy.
I know the username, but I forget what the screen name is. But hello, I know you. You're one of my people.
Hello.
Uh, I'm forgetting at the moment, and I've got 6 emails, so I'm checking on my 6 emails. Just give me a second. Speaking of ancestry, I sent my stuff into 23andMe to find out what I am.
Refresh me on just catch me up on everything.
Uh, it's like a genetic thing that
Okay,
you send in a vial of your bodily fluids, and they examine them and tell you where you're from.
dude. So, how long do you have to wait to hear back?
I'm still waiting for them to process my DNA, so I don't know. They told me the end of this month, I think in 7 days. I got a week, hopefully.
That's super exciting.
Yeah. Let me actually go and check the site and figure out where I am right now. But like, on that sense, because the one I'm taking currently is less like, where did you get these traits from? It's more like, where did you come from? Let's talk a bit about what on earth the Kikoku family, like, we know they're Japanese, but
They're
because they weren't necessarily born on Earth, what?
Oh yeah, we've talked about this. You had some ideas on this, and I was more like, yeah, there's definitely a connection, but I'm not gonna decide what it
Oh
is.
yeah, yeah. Here it says here I'm still in queue for extraction, so it's taking their time. Yeah. My whole idea was essentially they had their own sort of versions of that place on whichever planet they originated from. So when I'm talking about Akemi and Mina and where they live, they sort of, to me, live in sort of like this Japan town. And it's their world's version of what is basically Japan.
Yeah,
And I can,
and
yeah,
yeah, in the same way that there are like alt people, there can be alt places, maybe.
yes.
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't matter if they're different names and their culture is very slightly different. Like, we can tell the Kikoku family line has a bit of a mishmash, and they've got a bit of weird stuff going on, so we can just assume, like, their version of that place had a few different things going on, which is fair because places kind of do that. Um,
yeah.
but, like, to me, God, what was I had sort of the feel going that Mina, despite being my Mina is a tiefling, despite my Mina being a pure tiefling, she's Indian because that's her name's origin. Um,
Yeah.
and and Akemi is pure Japanese, and because Botan is big shapeshifter son man, he can honestly be whatever he wants, but he took up the Kikoku name because of where he was. Because I think he just sort of would be attracted to that sort of place. And he just picked up that last name because that's what was common for where he was in. So he just picked up I'm Japanese now. And he stuck with it, so he must have liked it.
Yeah. I wish I could tell you guys like who Botan actually is. I've never told a single soul
Don't
except
never
for like my friends in my private sphere who are like more familiar with
bring
my
it to your grave.
No, I'll like it's a part of my original work actually. So eventually it'll come to light, but
Bring it to
yeah.
your grave.
No.
Never tell me.
That's That's not an option. I'm sorry. But yeah, like a more boring alternative to your like alternate Japan idea that I considered was like I mean Ruxamar has had like many history, like in the Akemi fic that I recently wrote. Recently, that's probably like 4 or 5 months ago by now. Um,
Not that long.
like there was a previous cycle, right?
Yeah.
And so it's possible that there was a more Japan-like world or society or culture in that previous world that was sort of buried and destroyed. Maybe there was one even beneath that, and people kind of carried out the legacy a little bit, just a thin strand of
Yeah.
something.
I've always taken, so back when I wrote a whole lot of books for the sake of expanding on Awakening Andor's universe, I wrote the Birds of Dagron, if I'm not wrong, or was it the Birds of Ruxamar? I forget. It may be Dagron. Uh, and I put a whole lot of research and effort into that, and most of it was I had to pick what birds and where they were from, and I was being really picky about it. Because I had this whole reason that Rexamar kind of reminded me of like an English village, but at the same time it's got its own American sort of vibe going on. So I just kind of took like American birds and European birds and kind of just stuck them in with each other.
Huh.
And because I was like, you go to places like I don't know. There's a town in Tennessee. No, there's a town here in Georgia that is like constant Oktoberfest, and that those kind of places, like these old places that just are either modeled after a certain country or look or are just like you go to Europe and you see a whole lot of cities that are old and kind of kept in the same state. Um, I I feel like it's one of those Ruxamar. Not Ruxamar, I mean Dagron. I'm words bad.
Yeah, yeah, I can definitely see that. Gosh, you've been so thorough with this stuff, and a lot of the the
I I'm a
writers
I'm
have
a
been.
I'm a big thinker.
Yeah, I would like to read that sometime. That sounds like an interesting bit of world building there.
Yeah, I did a whole lot of world building. The problem is like Cats here to me is one of those places you can't really pin down. Because I can't really decide myself where exactly Catseer would be. Like I know it's like a big forested, half sort of forest, half jungle sort of place with a little bit of swamp going on. But otherwise, to me, it's like I don't know, man.
Wait, are you asking like where it would be in real life or?
Yeah, it's just sort of like that. Like, what places would it be based after? I know their Katsir is sometimes described as sort of like a tribal sort of thing going on, but that's pretty wide and pretty vague because there's a whole lot of different uh,
I
types
mean,
that could go into that.
all I can really do is try to describe Katsir objectively. I mean, consider the biome it's in. It's a deciduous magical forest, fairly large trees. It has mud huts, built out of the earth. It has a very large special tree, and it has a very large special shrine. Um,
Very large special tree is very specially dead.
yeah, and the shrine is of an architectural style that is not really seen anywhere else in Ruxamar.
Is that
Um,
that big? Are you talking about that
the
big
butterfly one,
statue?
like the butterfly looking thing, the yellow
Yeah.
thing.
I always assumed it was like a moth, which
It
fits.
has it has that look to it. It's really just purely abstract. It
That's
can look
fair.
like if you see it from a certain angle, it actually looks kind of like a cornucopia. Like you can see the mouth of a cornucopia. But yeah, it has all these different parts to it. Yeah.
But like, I really need to think about cats here somewhere. Considering I do a fair bit of writing about it as well, because I wrote uh the alternate Alyssa, in Awakening, and like she wasn't an actual person who I played. She was just mentioned in books a whole lot, because of her writing that my Andor carried around.
You know, like just the vibe I'm getting is like, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is like something maybe like Mesopotamian.
Ooh,
Um, but it could also maybe be like Native American, and I know that Alyssa has a lot of that.
yeah.
Um, so I don't know.
I'm not I'm not very like knowledgeable on that sort of stuff though, so
Neither
like
am I.
yeah, you just sort of make it up as long as you go. I know there's a lot of Native American sort of vibes going on in Catsier, uh, but there's also a whole lot of Aztec things going on there as well. Um,
Yeah, I was gonna
because
say like
yeah,
Incan or something. Yeah,
yeah, they are very skilled in the same way the Aztecs and the Mayans were in architecture and other things. Even if their architecture is just like, here's a mud hut, the floor's made of grass. And I know the Aztecs and the Mayans were a little better about that, but like it's in sort of the same sense. I want to say I could be wrong.
yeah. Like, I mean, Katsir is a little odd because I mean nothing is really particularly well crafted, um, or like elaborately crafted except for the harvest shrine. Everything else is just a little mud hut. I mean, I guess maybe some of it was kind of nice, but
I mean, it's got a nice vibe. That's
but it
kind of
was
what
small,
matters.
very small.
So it's a good farming community. Probably nomadic at some point in time, but just like settled down and was like, we eat dirt,
I
grass,
mean, that would be
tasty.
fitting because that was Ianite's story before she settled down there. Yeah.
Okay, we're approaching almost an hour here. We've got like 4 minutes uh, till we
Cool.
hit that hour mark.
We've talked for an hour straight.
Yeah,
That's
we've
pretty
we've
awesome.
talked for an hour. That's what my live is saying, but I'm looking at my recording time, and it's telling me 57.
Okay.
Oh,
So, what do you want to do?
hmm. Big thinking emoji.
So, I could continue or I could leave, but either way, I think I would want to get a little drink of water.
Yeah, really. I was talking because I was streaming earlier as well, so I was like, nightmare. Oh yeah. People in the Twitch chat can ask questions.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Let's do that. Hey guys, how many viewers do I have? I've got 4 whole viewers. This is the
Also,
most
well,
viewers I've ever had. Hi guys.
yay and welcome Perzakira.
Yeah, I can't
Botan.
even
I don't
pronounce
know how to
that
say it.
myself. Hi Gary.
Perzakira. Oh, is that Gary? Hey
That is
Gary.
Gary.
Cool.
We is doing
How?
good. Yeehaw.
Yeah, doing good. A little bit parched. How's you doing, Honor? How's you
Yeehaw.
doing, Gary?
Question for you. Question for you, Matt.
Oh,
Would they say yeehaw in Urulu?
I mean, like Farmer Steve made his mark on Urulu, so
That's fair.
definitely yes. Even though he isn't the Western style of cowboy, but he would still say yeehaw. Yeah.
I wish Sparkles gave Farmer Steve a more cowboy accent. I know he's Australian, but come on, man.
Yeah, like I think it's necessary. Yeah.
It is necessary. Uh, I hate how Sparkles sort of botched Andor's voice, though. That was a little disappointing.
Oh, I mean, I don't even remember him botching Andor's voice. I just remember the feminine sounding voices he tried to do. Ooh.
Yeah, that was bad.
Oh, oh, Jordan.
If there was
What
a
are we going
Mianite
to do?
season 3, but without Tom, Sonya, and Tucker, would it still be like Mianite? Um, maybe. Depends. I don't know though. Because honestly, MMO is going to be our season 3, and that's as close as we're gonna get.
Yeah.
Like, the closest we got before this all happened, and when I say this all, I mean Chim exists now. He's alive and not on hiatus. Was the closest we got was like Clear Sky Hermit, and even then, barely anybody read it.
It's true.
And like I went around speaking the wisdom of Clear Sky Hermit, aka Andor has severe anxiety, and he needs some therapy.
Hey, Miss Space, welcome,
Yeah,
Metal.
it's metal.
But
Hey
like, how
guys.
do I think season 3 would go? Like, okay, so if it didn't have one of the Tucker, Tom, or Sonia, if it just had like Jordan, you're saying, and like BTS, basically, dude, I would count that as like a real season 3 because in
Yeah.
my very like sort of cruel and non-fun having belief, all that a good story needs is one main character.
Yeah, really. That's
You
true.
know, like Jordan would drive it home because he was kind of the one who did anyway.
Yeah, Jordan
But like,
was. This is why most people watch Jordan's point of view when they're watching Mianite, is because Jordan, while not the most fantastically professional person when it comes to storytelling, is the better of the four.
but like from a community standpoint, I don't know if it would be Mianite anymore. I mean, like Jordan carried a huge part of the community, but it's like I think it would be a mini Mianite. Like you almost wouldn't be able to call it the same thing.
Yeah, I think mini Mianite, but I think it would still count as one. Um, I
Like it
would
would be canon, but it would be like that,
yes,
like
sort
kind
of
of
sort of like how Aftermath went, which is a thing I still haven't watched. And I know Aftermath is considered non-canon, but you know it's there. I don't think you've
yeah.
watched Aftermath either, have you?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I know a fair bit of BTS watched Aftermath. Big F to Aftermath, yeah. Uh,
Oof.
I know Aftermath is on the Mianite wiki. Uh,
Wiki.
so that's sort of why people can consider it canon. Was it got enough following that it was? Uh, but it is considered non-canon, which kind of sucks, considering it was fan made.
Well, if I like watched it, would I have the power to like extend my scepter and dub it canon? I don't know if I do have that power or not.
Maybe
I don't know.
it it'll it counts as canon
Oh, it does.
if you and Chris both agree that it is.
That's fair.
Because you and Chris are sort of like the rule makers. I know we speak a whole lot of Declan in this house. But man, Declan doesn't do anything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, side question: does when is Andor's birthday? I always had pictured it in the summer, but I could be remembering my own thoughts wrong. So like,
I picture because of my I went on a stint back in like the 6th grade when I was like big into horoscopes. I mentioned once that my Andor's a Taurus, and I asked Matt about it. Uh, and like he was like, "Oh, summer," and to me, summer is like Cancer, sort of time, sort of crab people. So like either
and if
way, either way,
you
it
get too much
decently
UV.
works.
Sorry, go ahead. I was making a
No, you
joke.
go ahead. I was finished
Summer
with that
is
statement.
summer is also Cancer time if you get too much UV. But yeah, um,
So
oof.
I don't know when Taurus goes. It goes before Cancer, doesn't it? Yeah. I'm
Cancer is like
I'm trying to
after.
remember my Homestuck uh, ability.
It's either Cancer or Scorpio is later. I think
Scorpio is
Cancer was
later, and
later
it's
too.
what I am. Yes. Um,
Right.
but no, like, so it's sometime in the summer, and to me, it's whenever like Taurus season is. So let me find out Taurus season.
Yeah, I don't know my astrology that well, admittedly. I read up on Capricorn,
Okay,
my own
so
sign, but
sometime between April 19th and the end of July.
I would I would accept that.
Jesus Christ, I've got 7 viewers. Oh my god. Okay, hi guys.
Who are they?
Who are you?
Wow, that's amazing.
Hey guys, keep
Reveal
asking
yourselves.
questions because it's an hour. It's over an hour now, but we're still talking.
Yeah,
Wig.
we can do this.
My legs hurt, so I'm gonna move again and make some more weird noises.
All right.
Make some more painful noises if I hit my mic wrong.
Ask us like questions about things that matter to you.
Don't ask us questions that are bad. Yes, go do it. If it's cursed, do it.
We lost a viewer, Angel. Okay.
We lost it. Oh, that's fine. That happens all the time to me. I've got a migraine.
The fewer viewers you have, the matter.
I am painful.
Oh no. Hope you feel better.
Every viewer I lose gives me a migraine.
Oh no.
I'm joking.
It's like a shred of like astral fabric being torn out of your brain.
Yeah, essentially.
So about that cursed question. Oh, we're back up to 7.
Yeah. Give us the cursed.
What do you think Andor's god tier class and aspect would be?
So,
is this from
quiet yourself, because I know all about this.
Oh my.
This is a Homestuck thing.
Oh
and I am basically the god of giving people Classpects, which is what their god tier is. And I was doing this earlier because I'm starting to play Homestuck again. Like, do Homestuck things again. And part of that is redesigning my fan trolls, and I had to repick their Classpects and whatever. But for Andor, he's a prince of something. I don't actually know what aspect he would be. He could also be an heir. I wouldn't deem him to be anything else other than a prince or an heir. And I know that's deciding between a negative class and a positive class. He's not a major space, no. He can be a mage of breath? Mage of breath, maybe? Mage of breath feels somewhat right, but then again, not a whole lot of people know what mages do. He's either whatever aspect is the opposite of breath, he's the prince of that. Or
Why would it be the opposite of breath?
I don't know. Maybe rage.
Breath seems fine to me.
Breath is like the wind people, essentially.
Well, wait, what was the god tier test?
The god tier. You want the link to that?
No.
Because I will give you that because it is
could do it. What am I supposed to do it like?
It's just like a test, and it's actually really accurate. One moment, let me find it.
Am I supposed to do it right now?
If you want to.
I mean, I don't know if that's something good for the podcast.
It's a little long, but it's not horribly long. God tier.
Okay, well, yeah.
I am die.
I'll at least
blood? Is blood the opposite of breath? Maybe. Well, blood is more like familial relations. And I would like to say that Helgrind could be a prince of blood, because he's sort of like tearing his family apart, and that kind of sucks. And that's kind of what princes of blood would do, is tear their relationships apart.
This sounds so interesting. Like
it really is. If you're
so like the type of person that you are like really affects whatever class you fall into.
Yeah, it's a big personality thing. Prince of trash. Then he's the opposite of trash. If you're a prince, you're the you do the opposite. You essentially destroy whatever your aspect is. Uh, so this is why I'm thinking Andor would either be a Prince of Rage or some other sort of thing going on, or he could be the same as John, which is an heir of breath, or he could be a mage of breath, something along those lines. And I'm only thinking that because breath are like big control wind sort of things. And if you're a mage, you control your aspect, and if you're an heir, you can still control it, but it goes a little wild from time to time.
Huh.
I don't actually know what heirs do anymore. I know what knights do. Extra cursed Prince of Heart. No. We already have one of those.
So this quiz is very text heavy and
yes,
very interesting. So I'm going to take that for like next podcast, and I'll give you my results.
Okay. Yeah. This basically turned into Homestuck podcast. We're so sorry.
No, it's good. It's good to branch out into other things because the Mianite pool does run dry, believe it or not.
Yeah. Any other questions? Alright, or thoughts? An idea, he's Vriska. No, I'm Vriska. My tests consistently give me Vriska's results, so. I don't read any of this. Yeah, that's fair honor. I don't blame you. It's 3,000 pages. Wait, no, it's 8,000 pages, isn't it? It's 8,000 pages of
Wait,
stuff.
Homestuck is text?
Homestuck is a webcomic, so it's both.
Oh.
It's
why did I think it was a cartoon or something?
Okay. It's art, animation, and text.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's good though. Yeah, it's 8,000 roughly.
Okay.
I read the whole thing. Yeah, jeez, I know a lot about it, though.
That's a hell of a lot of words. That is a lot of words.
Yeah, God. I wish I could write that many words. I think the most words I ever wrote was 50,000.
Longest I've done is the novel I wrote last year, which was like 130,000.
God. Any other questions? Thoughts and ideas?
I'm just imagining like a million. God. Yeah, any questions?
You tried reading it and you couldn't comprehend what was going on. Yeah, that happens. You eventually get it.
Eventually.
Eventually in like Act 6.
Kind of like how OBS eventually got its audio to work.
My auto mod is Andor a thought. And I'm going to allow that, thank you. Thought is a permitted term, yes. And Andor is a thought, yes, this is true. Andor facts would be great. This whole podcast was basically Andor facts. Is Andor bi or pan? Matt?
Oh, you're asking me.
Yeah.
If I had to choose between the two, I would say probably pan.
Yeah, I think I have him sort of as a flip-flop of both, because...
Trees.
And,
yeah, anyway. Okay.
Well, we don't talk about the trees.
Why would you say flip-flop?
I don't know. Trees.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I just feel like to me, Andor has never, like, in my mind, Andor has never really considered anyone romantically, except in, like, the most abstract sense, just, like, imagining weird stuff with people that you would never actually, like...
One moment, I must be back.
Okay. I'm just gonna, like, continue speaking. Yeah, so, like, to me, Andor is the combination of Angel and Andor, has never really considered anyone romantically apart from just, imagining things that would never happen. Does he wear Gucci? No, he's like way too simple. He would like refuse to spend money on clothes. He would just like wear a leaf if he had to. Yeah. This is the Matt and Viewers podcast, and it's where everything goes off the rails. Matt cast. Matt in a cast. The Matt cat in a cast, which encases his entire cat body, allowing you to roll him down a set of stairs straight into hell. What would Andor's ideal life be? He'd be like, I mean, as sad as it sounds and as cliche as it sounds, it'd be like back before everything went to shit. Just kind of, playing with Grandma Mianite, playing with Alva and Freya and his dad with the boomerang, and growing old like that. Yeah, it's a very simple answer, but I think that's kind of how most of us would answer the question if a similar thing had happened to us. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, in the end, new things can be made, and life can be withstood. It's pretty hard, but it can happen. It's possible. See, this is what happens when Matt takes over the stream. No, it was you guys who asked the question. It was your fault. Angel's not here to like balance things out though, so I'm just gonna like. That's why I'm getting better. Better TV. Wait, what? That's why you get better TV. I don't know what better TV is. Oh, you just mean like TV that is better. You put them as one word, so my ape brain was like, oh, this must be one word. Yeah, just keep shit posting. I'll respond to your shit posts. Oh, so better TV actually is a thing. Oh yeah, emotes. Yeah, we should do that eventually if we keep doing this. I think.
Hello.
What do you guys think of this podcast idea? Like we.
Hello.
Oh my heart. Help! Somebody help!
Hi.
Welcome back. I was just saying, like, this podcast is a cool idea, and I look forward to seeing if we can like bring on some interesting guests.
Yeah. We're dipping into the 1 hour 20-minute territory, so we may want to go.
You cut out. So what?
We're cutting in. We're starting to get into the 1 hour 20-minute territory. We may want to stop soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna bring on some guests eventually. I do have in mind Honor and Chris, and maybe some others.
Yep, Honor and Chris would be great.
You have more connections to Mianite people than I do, so.
I do have some lofty ideas.
Lofty.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can do stuff. But we can bring in some folks, some peoples. I can probably wrestle in Moonpal, maybe, and talk about Tainted Sparkles for an episode.
I'm gonna try and get someone from Blockworks from the building side.
Ooh, get someone from Blockworks, yeah.
I could. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Get
I won't say who I
Ironite
want.
herself.
Get who? Oh yeah, Ironite herself. That would be cool. I would like to speak with Ironite someday.
Special guest Alice.
Oh my god. Okay, she's too important, to be honest. Like, she would never join such a silly thing as this.
No. She beeps.
She does.
Okay, but I think we're gonna end off here.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It was good. It
was good talking about some Mianites. some Andors, and other crap like Awakening.
Yeah.
uh,
Some Homestuck. Yeah.
Gets even mad they couldn't do the Mianite BTS video thing they were gonna do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Whatever that was called. But
Yeah,
yeah.
Mad Spy is definitely someone I'm in contact with.
Ooh.
Seeing could be interesting. I'm
Ooh.
not quite there, but that could be a thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Chris would be more there than I would be.
I'm only in contact with the Awakening crew, you and Chris. So.
That's an accomplishment. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's decent. Oh, we could also
Yeah.
get Mayhaven people in here.
That would be interesting, yeah.
That would be interesting.
Like all the different like parts of the Mianite community coming together. Yeah, that would be cool.
Then again, Mayhaven likes to keep on the down low. So sorry guys. Oh, you want to talk about something real quick? Shoot, Honor, before we end.
All right.
Quick. Make it fast.
Shoot those bullets.
Shoot at Andor.
A year ago.
Kill him. Kill Andor. Make him die.
Oh. Like it was a thing that was going to happen.
We've had Mianite Awakening has had a lot of run-ins with actual Mianite people, which is pretty wild because Honor knows Chris pretty decently. They just don't talk a whole lot. And Declan was a thing for a second. And when I say for a second, I mean for a second so much that it happened before I was there.
I'm impressed that you guys got Deck.
Deck for a split second.
Yeah. Really? Where did you meet Tom?
Deck trying to chat for 5 seconds, he didn't really do anything.
That's he was just like, alright, I'm gonna check out all the Mianite chats to see if they're breaking the law.
Okay, no, breaking our copyright.
Yeah.
That's why Mayhaven's decently scared. I think there was a rumor, and I don't know if it's true or not, that the MMO group were like taking down some Mianite fan servers, and Mayhaven got real scared about that. And that's why Mayhaven's been wanting to keep on down low. They're really good. Please don't take them down. I love them a whole lot. Matt played on them. I play on them. They're good. We like them. Don't touch. Don't hurt.
Like the human equivalent of like lavender oil. Like Chris is just a very good, wholesome human, very helpful human.
I don't exactly know.
Everyone should talk to Chris.
When I talk to Chris, I can't really read her emotions well, but she is really nice. So that's important. If I can't read your emotions, but you're nice, you're fine. You good.
Yeah, I've confided in Chris a couple times. Chris is good at that stuff.
But yeah, okay. I think we're gonna we're gonna die here. We're gonna stab ourselves with the nearest sharp object, and we are going to die, and...
Angel.
And
okay.
Live.
Okay, yeah, live. Yep, that's a better...
No, we're gonna revive ourselves after we decide to do another one of these. And otherwise we're gonna be dead. But yeah, guys, thanks for joining. My art, I'm just realizing, is not centered on the screen. But that's fine. But we're gonna go.
Alright, talk to you guys later.
Bye.